We're gonna be in positions for a little while, but we're gonna add movement into them. I want you to try to really breathe, like long, slow breaths into these movements, and also toy with closing your eyes. Let's start standing at the front of our mats. And when you're ready, we're gonna interlace our hands behind us, make your chest proud, and straighten your arms as much as you can. Good. Now we're all gonna be in very different stages here, but try to get your hands away from your butt. Okay, your hands might still be at your butt, your elbows might still be bent, it doesn't matter, just try to get here eventually, don't force it of course. But then once you're here, go ahead and just slowly rotate from one side to the other. And it does not have to be big, it's just a small little rotation, really opening up the chest. Open up your biceps. Remember, breathe in and out through your nose. And notice if you're clenching your jaw or holding any tension in your jaw. Just go ahead and let it go. Good. When you're ready, go ahead, find stillness. If you need to redo the grip, that way it's nice and strong, go ahead and do it now. And then when you're ready, small bend in your knees, hinging from your hips, go ahead and fold down toward the ground, letting your hands fall towards the ground, kind of behind your head. Good. And again, you can stay still here, or we're going to add in some movement by slowly bringing your hands a little bit to the right, and then just a little bit to the left. And you can really get your hips into this as well. So as you kind of go to the right, you can bend your right knee, straighten the left a little bit more. And then as you go to the left, you can bend your left knee, straightening your right a little bit more. And again, this is an option. So if this does not feel good for you right now, you can take the stillness option. But just breathe. You can spend time on one side and then the other. Take one more big inhale and exhale. And on the exhale, go ahead, release your hands to your butt, undo the grip, and then bring your hands down to the mat. Yes, go ahead, keep your right foot where it is. Take a big step back with your left foot coming into a lunge position, nice and early. Breathing here, maybe moving your hips just a little bit side to side, letting them open up. And now when we go into this next movement, I don't want you to think that you have to straighten your leg all the way, okay? Please do not pull your hamstring, especially before the season starts. We are just bringing our hips back as far as they'll go, so that right leg is straightening, but it does not have to be all the way straight, okay? So on the inhale, go ahead, bend into that right knee. On the exhale, just bring your hips back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And breathe. And if this is a really small movement for you, that's okay. It could just be this. That's perfectly fine. We're just moving, adding a little bit of muscle contractions while we're in these positions. Good. When you're ready, next time you're in that lunge, go ahead and pause. And then we're gonna pivot on that right heel, coming into a side lunge on our right side. So right knee is bent, left leg is extended. Skandasana. And then just go ahead and push up into both legs being wide, and then fold forward through those legs. So wide-legged forward fold. And again, you can add movement here by maybe moving your hips left to right. It's a really, really small motion. Good. Beautiful. You can bend into your elbows and then straighten them if you want to kind of bob up and down. Everything moves with your breath. So close your eyes and just breathe. Release the tension in your jaw. And whenever you're ready, We're gonna come down to a Skandasana, a side lunge on our left side. So bending into the left leg, extending the right just for a second. And then go ahead, pivot over that left foot, coming into a lunge facing the back of the mat. And again, like we did on the other side, just go ahead and add a little bit of movement here. So moving your hips from left to right. You can drop the knee if it feels good to you. Whatever you need to do. But when you're ready, on your next exhale, straightening that front leg. Remember, it does not have to be all the way straight. We're just bringing our hips back as far as they'll go, not forcing it. Inhales bring you down into the lunge. Exhales bring you back. And that back foot, the heel's gonna be up when you're in the lunge position, but as you press your hips back, try to press that right heel down towards the mat. So you're getting a calf stretch as well. Good. Beautiful. The next time you're in that lunge, go ahead and stay there. When you're ready, go ahead, pivot into that side lunge, Skandasana. Yes. And then just transition over to the other side, Skandasana. Yes, beautiful. Go ahead, rotate over that front foot. Take a big inhale. We're in that lunge position. Exhale, press back into a downward facing dog. Good, and do whatever you need to here in this down dog. Pressing one heel down to the ground and the other, stretching out your calves. Or you can come high onto your tippy toes and then drop both heels at the same time. You can let your hips fall to the left like you're pouring tea out of your left hip bone. And then same with the right. Whatever feels good in this down dog to you. Just breathing. Good. When you're ready, go ahead, inhale, take that right foot up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend that right knee, open up that right hip, and then continue to let that foot fall to the ground. Lift your hips up and reach your right arm forward. Wild thing, or flipping the dog. Good, slowly coming back into that downward dog position. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, take your left foot up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the left foot or the left knee, open up the left hip, drop the foot down to the ground, hips up, reach that arm forward. Wild thing. Slowly coming back to down dog with control. Good, go ahead, drop your knees nice and wide, untuck your toes. Child's pose, forehead down to the ground, extend your arms out, and breathe. Good, while you're in this position, you can spread your fingers nice and wide. You can make circles with your wrists, but just make sure you're breathing. Big belly breaths, in and out through the nose. Beautiful. When you're ready, go ahead, slowly walk your hands all the way up until you come seated on your heels. Yes. Okay, so I talk about this all the time, but if this is painful at all for your heels to just sit straight on them, then you might want to put a towel or a pillow or a sweatshirt underneath your ankles. What I don't want you to do is just tuck your toes under, because that works the bottom of your foot. Right now we want to work the top of the foot. And so this really allows us to work on ankle mobility when we're on the mountain. So like sitting low into a squat or an athletic position, being more playful with the board, our ankles allow us to do this. So make sure that this is possible for you eventually. When you're ready, go ahead, bring your knees together. Make sure your big toes are still together. Tops of the feet are still on the floor. If you are comfortable where you're at, if you want to challenge, bring your hands behind you, lean back a little bit, and then bring your knees up, just ever so slightly. Yeah, good. Beautiful. Here, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead, slowly release. Come back onto all fours, hands and knees. And then you can make some small circles in your ankles if you need to. Good, so coming up is gonna be the one time we are gonna do a static position. We really wanna target the glutes in this, but it's also gonna get a little bit of the hamstrings as well. We're gonna bring that left foot on the outside of the left hand. Okay, from here, move the left hand. We're gonna heel toe that left foot across the body all the way across the mat. And then drop that left knee down to the ground. Now I'm super high up, and that's exactly where I want you guys to be. So start high up, notice what you feel in that left glute, and then if this is not enough, you can tuck the toes of the back foot and kind of crawl that right knee back a little bit, coming into a pigeon pose. Really targeting that left glute, maybe even a little bit of the hamstrings, the right hip opener or hip flexor. So you can stay here on your hands, or you can come down onto your forearms. You can rest your head, you can close your eyes. You can practice back bends if you would like to, or just breathe. If you feel this at all in your knee, you might want to bring your heel closer to your sit bones, because the further away you have your heel from your body, the more torque you're putting on that knee. Breathe. Good. Beautiful. And when you're ready, go ahead, slowly replace your forearms with your hands if you're down on the ground. Tuck the toes of the back foot. With one slow movement, we're going to slowly press back into a downward facing dog. Good. And when you're ready, go ahead, drop both knees down to the ground again. Bring that right foot on the outside of the right hand, and same thing, go ahead, heel toe that right foot all the way across the mat. Drop that right knee to the ground. Stay high here, or tuck the toes to slowly bring yourself back. Stay on your hands or replace them with your elbows, and then just bow your head, close your eyes. And breathe. Good, releasing tension in your jaw. It's amazing how much tension we're holding when we don't realize it. So practicing becoming aware and just letting it go as you breathe here. Beautiful. When you're ready, replace your forearms with your hands, but instead of coming into a downward facing dog, we're actually just gonna take a seat on that right hip and then swing that left leg all the way forward so our feet are facing the front part of the mat. Yes, go ahead, hug your knees in just a little bit as you come back onto your spine. I'm gonna move my microphone. Good. And then from here, go ahead and bring your feet down to the mat. Knees are facing up towards the ceiling. Your feet can be kind of like right underneath your hips, or maybe just a little bit wider. And then we're gonna just let them windshield wipe. So let both knees fall to the left as far as they can go. Feel that stretch down your right hip flexor, your right quad maybe. And then bring the right knee up. And as you do so, the tension brings the left leg up. And then you let them fall to the right. So it's not like you're bringing both knees up at the same time. So now we're gonna switch to the other side. Just bring the left leg, and that tension pulls the right leg. So you're not moving. this second leg. Does that make sense? So from here, right leg comes up, the tension naturally pulls the left. So do that a couple times. Close your eyes and see if you can have the leading leg come up and pull the other leg behind it. That will maybe give you some hip pops if you're lucky. Good. Now we're going to add in some movement here. So the next time both your knees fall to the left, go ahead and stay there. Good. Once you're on the left side, go ahead, rotate your body so you're on your left shoulder and extend your left arm out in front of you. Right hand reaches overhead on the ground. Reach, 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 reach. Try to do a really good stretch. Try to roll forward as far as you can. Breathe. And go ahead, slowly release, coming to the other side. Let your knees fall to the right. You can extend your right arm and then left hand goes overhead on the ground, and then again, kind of roll forward as far as you can. Getting that left side body a good stretch. And then go ahead and go at your own time. You can go back and forth between those two sides. As slow or as fast as you'd like. Good. Let's do one more on each side. Beautiful. After your last one, go ahead, hug your knees into your chest, kind of resetting your low back. You can rock side to side if it feels good here. You can put some circles in your ankles if it feels good. And when you're ready, we're going to grab our big toes. So if you're barefoot, peace out fingers. Grab your big toes. If you have socks on, just grab the outside of your feet. And then going into a happy baby. So feet up towards the ceiling. Try to get your knees and your ankles as far away from each other as possible. And you can rock side to side here, kind of massaging your spine into the ground. You can even play with pushing your feet into your hands. Maybe one at a time or both, doesn't matter. You just kind of play, whatever feels good here. Good, and when you're ready, find stillness in this happy baby. And then slowly bring your feet together, going into a butterfly position. Use your hands, grab onto your ankles, and pull your feet towards the mat. And it's naturally going to lift your head up off the ground, and it's going to give you a little bit of a hip pop. Well, maybe. It always does to me. Good. And go ahead, slowly release by allowing your head to come to the ground, and then releasing your hands from your feet. Yes, from here, hug your knees into your chest. We're going to do a little bit of rolling back and forth. We're going to come forward onto the sit bones and then roll back onto the upper back. We're going to do that a couple times. So massaging the spine, kind of getting out any leftover sensations in the spine, kind of waking it up a little bit, becoming more robust in the spine because we're using it. Let's do two more. Last one. And then when you're ready, coming all the way up into a seated position.